blast away possible avalanche dangers near Independence Pass. And we're back at the Warrior Games, this time featuring the track and field sport. And a group of youngsters test out their new rides today thanks to a special delivery. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. I'm Nikki Weirich. Some isolated showers rolling into southern Colorado. Let's head straight to Chief Meteorologist Terry Gerbstadt now with more in our Fox Fastcast. Terry?
Nikki, before the showers moved through, we had some hot temperatures out there. Temperatures topped out in the 80s, and yes, there were some 90s out there. But take a look at the temperatures now. The rain has moved through, and a lot of those temperatures have cooled off. 69 Colorado Springs, 75 in Denver, 72 in Trinidad. But look at that. No rain for you folks in Lamar yet. Temperature still 93 degrees, mostly 70s and 80s in the north, 50s and 60s over the higher elevations. We'll take a look at that TrueView Doppler, and there's a lot out there, but most of those echoes showing things that aren't really hitting the ground. Every once in a while, a little heavier shower here and there. You can see those spots of yellow pop up and then die down. Most of this should die down overnight and clear out of here, and we'll start tomorrow with some dry conditions. Let's take a look at the area where the Waldo Canyon burn scar is, which is right there. Maybe a little light shower over the area. It doesn't look like it's going to be a big problem tonight. Again, that should die down fairly quickly. So what are we expecting for tonight? An isolated shower, thunderstorm through the evening hours at 7 o'clock, 67 in the Springs, 80 in Pueblo, 64 and 75 at 9, and low 60s to upper 60s around 11 o'clock tonight. So that's the forecast for the evening. What happens for tomorrow? We're going to cool off a little bit. We'll talk about that coming up a little bit later. Right now we're headed back downtown. Nikki.
All right, thanks, Terry. Chipeta Elementary School, with the help of Aspen Point, providing students a way to feel empowered and prepared during natural disasters. Fox 21's Rachel Welty joins us live from the studio now with more on this story. Rachel?
Yeah, Nikki, the program is called I'm Not Scared When I'm Prepared. It was started after last summer's deadly and destructive Waldo Canyon fire. Today at the school assembly, the students put together a supply pack for use in a crisis situation. Organizers say they've been working with the community since the fire to not just rebuild, but also prepare for future natural disasters such as flash flooding. The supply packs are filled with basic necessities.
Inside the kit you'll find information for the parents that talks about what to do in the event of a fire or a flood or other kinds of disasters. And then for the kids we put in a bandana, a flashlight that's pump operated, doesn't need batteries. We put in a whistle with a red light combination on there for signaling people down. We put in band-aids and we put in a thermal blanket as well.
Now the team leaders say they're not trying to scare the kids, but rather inform and empower them to prevent panic in the event of another natural disaster. Nikki, back to you downtown.
All right, Rachel, thanks so much for that report tonight. Colorado Springs police searching for two suspects believed to be involved in a shooting Monday night. It happened at the Hill Park Apartments on North Murray Boulevard near Platte Avenue. Officers found a male victim. He was suffering from 2 gunshot wounds, 1 to each leg. The victim was taken to the hospital where he remains in stable condition. Police say he was shot during a robbery. The suspects described as 2 black men, one 6'1", the other 5'5". Both were dressed in dark clothing. Prosecutors in the James Holmes case are listing about 3,500 potential witnesses that could take the stand. None of those witnesses have been identified. Lawyers say nearly 40,000 pages of documents about evidence have been filed. Holmes is accused of killing 12 and injuring 70 in the July attack. Holmes asked to change his plea to not guilty by reason of insanity, but the judge hasn't decided whether to accept it. A 16-year-old is arrested in connection to a live explosive device found at a Colorado school Monday. A teacher called police after spotting a suspicious-looking brown paper bag in a hallway at a high school in Lafayette. Authorities confirming the device was a real explosive similar to a pipe bomb. They were able to successfully detonate it. Police aren't releasing the suspect's name because he's a juvenile. He's facing charges including possession of explosive parts.
It's disconcerting to say the least. I mean, we've had so much happen here in Colorado, and you can't take anything for granted. It makes you think what kind of mind would want to do something like that.
No word yet on a motive. Mayor Steve Bach will hold a town hall meeting tomorrow night. It starts at 6:30 at Broadmoor Elementary on West Cheyenne Mountain Boulevard. The meeting will provide an opportunity for folks to give feedback, offer ideas, and contribute to the 2014 budget process. Federal officials recommending tougher drinking and driving rules. The National Transportation Safety Board says states should change the standard current legal blood alcohol content limit, shrinking it down from 0.08 to 0.05. The new limit is part of a series of recommendations aimed at reducing alcohol-related highway deaths. We have some good news for you tonight. It's day 4 of the 2013 Warrior Games. Today, track and field events were featured. Fox 21's John Martin has more from the Air Force Academy.
Day 1 of the Warrior Games track and field competition fired off on Tuesday.
Today's been wonderful in track and field. Just, everybody out there giving it their all. People coming in first, pushing through.
Hundreds of wounded, ill, and injured service members and veterans competed to keep their branch atop the podium.
It's important. It's just, representing your service, your branch.
For some, though, they're just happy for the chance to compete.
This is a culmination of 3 years and several surgeries and the risk of losing a leg. And now here I am.
These games emphasize the importance of teamwork and adaptive sports.
A lot of times when you're injured, you feel like you're just another number. You almost feel like the world forgot about you. But once you come to something like this, you realize that I'm still in the military. I'm part of the military. I will always be part of the military. And I have brothers and sisters here that will help me out every step of the way.
Today was a good day at the track.
The only thing I want people to know is that, we're out here just enjoying life, no matter what's wrong with us.
John Martin, Fox 21 News.
A brand new bike making some kindergartners smile ear to ear this afternoon. Wish for Wheels, supported by Panera Bread, brought 55 bikes to Queen Palmer Elementary. Each kid was fitted for a helmet and got a chance to test their new set of wheels. The group brings exercise and adventure to kids across the state. 1 in 5 school-age children live in poverty in Colorado, and for some, this is their first bike.
It's so cool. I love bits, and I love it so much.
Oh, this is incredibly exciting. I mean, our kids sometimes don't have these kind of perks in their lives, and this is just such a blessing.
Certainly very excited. Wish for Wheels had support from local Panera Breads assembling all these bikes before the handout. Earlier today, they delivered more than 80 bikes to another school in Aurora. Blasting away some dangerous snow. That's what CDOT crews did, clearing areas around Independence Pass. And a Springs man fighting a rare disease is raising awareness. His story, plus Terry will have your forecast coming up next.
You are watching Fox 21 News at 6:30. Live from downtown Colorado Springs, this is Fox 21 News at 6:30.
Colorado Department of Transportation crews clearing snowpack around Independence Pass using more than just plows to clear the snow. More than 40 bombs were assembled to blast away avalanche threats. The blast ate away at dangerous areas, causing man-made avalanches. This depletes the risk of snow falling onto the road, causing hazards for drivers.
Goal is to get it open before Memorial Day, and we're going to be real close to that. Should be right on schedule.
With warm temps returning this week and the avalanche risk now depleted, CDOT is hoping to get in crews to clear the roads. Terry?
Yeah, Mother Nature's going to help out this week in that little project with some warm temperatures. Tomorrow, probably our coolest day this week, and then we warm up after that. What about the current temperatures? We made it into the 80s and 90s for high temperatures, but with some showers, we've cooled off. Only 59 right now if you're up around Monument Hill. 10 degrees warmer in Colorado Springs. A little bit warmer than that, low 70s around Fort Carson. We have 84 in Pueblo, but look at that. You can tell where it hasn't rained. The warm temperatures are still hanging on. 90s in La Junta and Lamar, 87 Springfield, 79 in Lyman, 72 in Trinidad. Here's that satellite point of view. High pressure pushing most of the clouds off to the north, but a few clouds, a little moisture sneaking in underneath that ridge of high pressure, and with a little heat, up go some showers and thunderstorms out there. It wasn't a real bad day. Most of those were relatively light. If you were lucky, you got a little bit of rain in your backyard, and I did around 12:30, 1 o'clock this afternoon. I'm very appreciative of that. Here's the way it looks on future view overnight. Most of that clears out. We start tomorrow with mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies as the day goes on. Again, we'll build up a little shower and thunderstorm activity. There's going to be a front move through tonight, so the chances of storms a little better coming up for tomorrow. And you can see by late in the day, there'll be some showers and thunderstorms throughout much of the eastern part of the state. But overnight, tomorrow night, most of that clears out as we start Thursday, especially in the southern half of the state. Looks like we're going to start with a good bit of sunshine as the day goes on. Mostly sunny skies, unless you're traveling up to the northeast part of the state, a few isolated storms there. But for most of our viewing area, looks like it'll be a mostly sunny day. And the temperatures are going to bounce back. We should get back into the 80s and some 90s. So let's take a look at that forecast for tonight. A few isolated showers, maybe a little thunder out there through the evening hours. Then things should taper off somewhat overnight. There are the overnight low temperatures, relatively mild. Most places in the 50s, 54 in Lamar, 53 in Kit Carson, Fountain with a 55, 11 degrees cooler in Woodland Park, 40s in Salida, likewise in Alamosa. Then for tomorrow, we'll see partly cloudy skies with some isolated showers and thunderstorms. Best chance of those storms, mountains, I-25 corridor. The further east you go, looks like the drier it's going to be, and it's going to be a little bit cooler coming up for tomorrow as a result of that front moving through. Most high temperatures about 5 or 10 degrees cooler than what we had for today. 89 Lamar, 87 around Kit Carson, 70s in Trinidad and Walsenburg. We'll look for 81 in Canyon City, 70s in Salida and Alamosa, 66 in Woodland Park, and some 70s in Monument and Black Forest. What about our forecast for Colorado Springs? We're going to check it right now. For tonight, mostly cloudy. We could see an isolated evening shower. Low temperature of 53 in Pueblo. Chance of an isolated evening shower. Otherwise, look for low temperature of 54. Then coming up for tomorrow, partly cloudy and cooler. It's going to be a little breezy and a chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. High temperature of 76. And in Pueblo, we'll look for partly cloudy skies, slight chance of late day storm, and a high temperature of 84. And remember, you can always get your forecast on our Fox 21 mobile app, powered by Fox 21 News and brought to you by Pueblo Dodge Chrysler Jeep. So a little bit cooler coming up for tomorrow, but then, boy, there's a nice rebound, and we're going to talk about that later. Right now, we're going to take a break, and then Nikki's back with some more news.
Making news across America tonight, President Obama's second-term agenda under fire from what has now become an avalanche of scandals. Fox's Craig Boswell reports from Washington.
As President Obama left Washington for an evening of fundraisers in New York Monday, a third in a series of potentially serious scandals surfaced. The Associated Press reported the Justice Department secretly collected 2 months of telephone records of reporters and editors. While the AP did not report why the records were seized, it did note the administration is investigating leaks surrounding a foiled bomb plot in 2012.
To go to a court and get a subpoena for phone records of people who are supposed to report the news is the last resort. There are a lot of hurdles you have to overcome.
It follows the acknowledgement and apology by the IRS that it targeted some conservative groups seeking tax-exempt status during the 2012 election.
Anybody who was aware of and approved of targeting people for their political beliefs and speech needs to be fired, never in this position again, and made an example of.
On Monday, the president said swift steps would be taken if IRS misconduct is proven, but he was far more direct in his dismissal of Republican criticism of his handling of the U.S. consulate attack in Benghazi.
The whole issue of this, of talking points, frankly, throughout this process has been a sideshow.
Republicans insist the removal of al-Qaeda in the talking points in the days after the attack amounts to a cover-up. The first in a series of congressional hearings to investigate the IRS claims is this Friday. There are already 5 congressional committee hearings into the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi. In Washington, Craig Boswell, Fox News.
Continuing our news across America tonight, O.J. Simpson back in a Las Vegas courtroom for the second day. He's hoping for a new trial after he was convicted of armed robbery, assault, and kidnapping. He claims his former attorney is to blame for the 2008 conviction. Now, new lawyers are trying to prove Simpson and attorney Yale Galanter had conflicting interests during the trial 5 years ago. O.J. claims Galanter misled him about the law. Angelina Jolie has a double mastectomy after learning she carried a gene for breast cancer. The 37-year-old actress says last month she finished 3 months of surgical procedures to remove both breasts. She says she made the choice after her mother died of breast cancer at age 56. Doctors told her she had an 87% chance of getting it herself. 2 familiar British faces joined forces to promote the UK as a leading global power. Prime Minister David Cameron and Prince Harry meeting at the Great event in New York today. The event promotes the UK as a great place to visit, study, work, and invest. Both men stressing the importance of the UK's partnership with America. It's a rare disease that affects the large intestine, but it's not slowing down one local man. We have his story still to come in tonight's Modern Medicine. And booking a non-smoking hotel room may not be as healthy as you think. We'll tell you why after the break. In tonight's Modern Medicine, it's a disease that affects 700,000 Americans, and many have never heard of it before being diagnosed. The autoimmune system disease affects the large intestine. Fox 21's Abby Burke spoke with one Colorado Springs man who has been living with it for 15 years.
Chris Arthur, now 34, enjoys an active life with his family. But 15 years ago, he thought this life would never be possible.
I had a lot of pain and other symptoms, which at 19 years old as a healthy individual were really scary.
Chris was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and life as he knew it changed forever.
My disease was manageable until my late 20s.
Chris ended up in the hospital after losing more than 40 pounds.
It's hard to keep nourished, hydrated, and like I said, it's just difficult to function as a normal person. You can't leave the house. You need to use the bathroom every possible place.
As a young adult, Chris struggled to cope with his symptoms, which is why he now wants to raise awareness and hope for others.
So many people live with these symptoms and are embarrassed by them and don't know exactly what it is or what treatment to seek.
After a recent flare-up, Chris was given a new drug, Remicade.
Within a number of days of being on the Remicade, I was drastically better. It's amazing how quickly your health can improve when treated with the appropriate drug.
It's been an emotional ride for Chris, but one that has taught him to appreciate the small things that many take for granted.
In the back of your head, there's always that thought that at some point I'll relapse, at some point the drugs may stop working. So you definitely do take every day and cherish it.
In Colorado Springs, Abby Burke, Fox 21 News.
Christopher will have to receive treatments once every other month for the rest of his life. There's currently no cure. The cause is also unknown, but physicians believe flare-ups can be triggered by stress. To learn more, all you need to do is log on to our website, fox21news.com. Non-smoking hotel rooms may not be as smoke-free as you think. Folks who stay in designated non-smoking hotel rooms with a partial smoking ban are not fully protected. Researchers found smoking in hotels leaves a trail of tobacco pollution in the air and on the surfaces of all rooms. Non-smoking rooms with partial bans had nicotine levels 40% higher than those in rooms in hotels with total smoking bans. Too little salt can actually cause health problems. Experts say folks between 14 and 50 should limit their intake to 2,300 milligrams a day. Those over 50 or people with chronic diseases should be limited to 1,500 milligrams a day. Most Americans come nowhere near the low end of salt consumption numbers. Well, stick with us. Terry will have a week's worth of weather coming up next.
Let's take a look at a week's worth. We had 80s today for high temperatures. We're going to back it off into the 70s for tomorrow, and some isolated showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon and evening. Then the warm weather comes back. We're back into the 80s on Thursday and Friday. There's your weekend. Partly cloudy, temperatures in the 70s, but hey, who's complaining this time of year? That's not too bad at all. In Pueblo, 84, chance of storms coming up for tomorrow. Then we get back into the upper 80s on Thursday and Friday, and your weekend, a combination of 70s and 80s, and even a little cooler than that coming up on Monday and Tuesday. Best chance of storms over the next 7 days coming up for tomorrow. All right, we're going to toss it back downtown right now. Nikki.
All right, Terry, thanks so much, and thank you for being with us tonight. For more news and weather, all you need to do is log on to our website, fox21news.com. We'll see you back here tonight at 9. Have a good one.